Baker top of the arc, guarded by Hub. Dumps it off left baseline. McConnell, pull up, Jay, got it. A 15-footer from the left baseline for Caleb McConnell, making his return to his hometown of Dayton. And it's 6-4, and on the other way, a mid-range Jay from Wesley doesn't go, and the rebound to Mulcahy. Paul Mulcahy holds it on the right baseline, gets it back out, left hash mark for Harper. Straight on McConnell, holding the ball in his hip. Now puts it on the floor, left-hand dribble. Gives it up for Harper between the rings. Harper lost the ball, had his pocket picked by Ryan. Ball tipped in the air by Baker, and it's controlled by Atkinson. And now Cormac Ryan will get a mulligan on it. They'll bring it across midcourt for the Irish. They trail 6-4 to Rutgers as we are 3 minutes and 52 seconds into this game. Right wing now for Wesley. Freshman putting a move on Mulcahy. Step back three off the side rim. Rebounded on the weak side by McConnell. Rutgers trying to run here with Baker on the right wing. Baker crossing over on his right. Moves over to his left hand. Off a screen from Amori. Lob to Cliff and a right hand jam. Oh, baby. Cliff Amori throwing it down with authority. He's got 4, and Rutgers is out to an 8-4 lead with 15:40 to go in this first half.
Raise the roof, everybody. Wow, what a slam.
Here's Goodwin, left wing, gives it up for Ryan, guarded by Mulcahy. Cormac Ryan crossing over, gives it up for Prentice Hub up against Baker, straight on. Hub dribbles right, dump down side. Atkinson beats Mulcahy to the rim and lays it in for 2 with the finger roll. What a start for Paul Atkinson. He's got 6 already. Irish trail Rutgers 8-6 as we come across 5 minutes into this game. Here's McConnell straight on for Baker. One bounce into the left corner for Mulcahy. Left elbow for McConnell. McConnell, pull up Jay off the back iron, tipped around by Atkinson and controlled on the rebound by Wesley. Blake Wesley gives off for Prentice Hub, who brings it across the midcourt circle. Notre Dame with the basketball, trailing Rutgers 8-6, 4.5 minutes into this game. Dump it off right wing. That 3 is good from Cormac Ryan, and the Irish take the lead. Catch and shoot 3 from the right corner for Ryan. He shoots 39% from behind the arc, and he heard Rutgers there.
And that was one of those instances where Notre Dame drives in and kicks out for an open 3, something Rutgers has to watch out for.
Rutgers with the ball, 14.5 to play. Give it up left side for McConnell, back straight on for Baker. Baker swings it left corner for McConnell. Bounce it low block for Amori, back out Baker, left wing 3, kaboom! A catch and shoot 3 for the 5th-year senior Geo Baker. He's on the board with his first 3, and Rutgers back up in front 11-9 with 14:07 to play in this first half. Here's Prentice Hub. Give it up straight on for Goodwin. Hands off for Ryan on the high right wing. Ryan, dribble drive down the lane, goes up and scoops it in off the window. We're tied at 11. Cormac Ryan now with 5. Here comes Mulcahy across the midcourt line on the left side. Guarded by Wesley. Right hand dribble on the left wing. Off a screen from Amori, steps inside the arc. They'll try to dump it in for Amori. It was tipped off his hands, and Ryan throws it up the floor. Here's Prentice Hub, left of the lane, scoops it up and in off the window, and the Irish are back in front 13-11. Prentice Hub with his first 2 points of the game. 13.5 to play in the first half. Rutgers down 13-11. Here's Amori, back to Baker right wing. Baker dribbles right baseline, steps beyond the arc. Crossover to his left, pull up Jay off the back iron. Too strong, the weak side rebound to Blake Wesley, and the Irish control. Notre Dame shooting 67%, 6 of 9 from the floor to start this game.
Yeah, Rutgers right behind him, shooting 5 of 9. Both of these teams starting out great offensively.
Left wing for Hub. Extended beyond the arc, finds Atkinson on the pick and roll. Kicks it back out for Ryan. Goes over to the right side, scooped up and in. It's Wesley on the backdoor cut. Credit Goodwin with the assist. And Wesley getting on the board with his first 2 points of the game. 15-11, Irish out to their early 4-point lead, their largest so far. 12.5 to play, Rutgers with the ball. On the right side, it's McConnell. Feed it down low for Harper. Saved it beneath the lid. Harper goes strong to the basket. Scoops it in off the window. Ron Harper Jr. with 4. And it's back to a one-possession lead for Notre Dame, 15-13, with 12:17 to go in this first half. This is a New York City FC post-game report. I'm Chris Tsakonas back here with you at Red Bull Arena. New York City FC fall to the Seattle Sounders by a score of 4-2 in the aggregate. It was a 1-1 draw in the second leg of this CONCACAF Champions League semifinal. Seattle will go on to face Pumas in the final. Let's take a look back at the highlights starting in the first half. The game got off to a chippy start. New York City FC got their first good scoring chance in the 11th minute off a cross from Malte Amundsen.
Quickly swings it left for Magno. Can he save it? Yes. Heavy touch, gets to the byline. 1 versus 1 working against Roldan. Now leaves it for Amundsen to the back post. It's loose, and it's Fry who goes down and smothers.
The Sounders responded to the early New York City FC pressure, and in the 28th minute, Nuhu set up Raul Ruidiaz for the opening goal.
Here's Nuhu now trying to take advantage. First time shot at a goal, and things are becoming very difficult for New York City in Harrison, New Jersey, as Raul Ruidiaz scores on a first-time finish, and Nuhu, returning to the starting lineup, gets the assist.
That goal from Ruidiaz put the Sounders up 4-1 on aggregate and 1-0 in the match. Ruidiaz almost got a second goal in the 43rd minute off a chance it started with a New York City FC turnover.
So Seattle is pressurizing New York City, and Ladero takes it away from Nico Acevedo, finds Ruidiaz, cuts it against the grain. Here's a shot and a save by Sean Johnson at the front post. A left-footed drive by Ruidiaz as he worked his way around Tavon Gray, but it was the turnover. Acevedo losing to Ladero.
Both teams went into the locker room at the half. Seattle in control of the tie with a 4-1 aggregate lead and a 1-0 lead in the game. New York City FC finally pulled one back early in the second half thanks to this finish from Santi Rodriguez.
Thiago's in the area, back to Castellanos, dummies it to Santi Rodriguez, who finishes it first time with the right foot. Castellanos leaves the ball for Santi Rodriguez. It was Thiago who got around the edge for New York City on the left. The change of shape, it may have helped. New York City with an early goal just 5 minutes into the second half.
That made it 4-2 on the aggregate, and New York City FC had life. The Sounders tried to respond at the other end, but a great look from Jordan Morris was denied at the line by Thiago Martins.
Roldan back at the other end. Jordan Morris is saved off the line by Thiago Martins. Wow! What a save by Martins on the line as Morris was loose.
The chance of the night came in the 71st minute when Thales Magno found himself one-on-one. Stefan Fry had other ideas.
Kellen Rowe, that was his first service of the game, intercepted. Now it's Castellanos in the area. Square to Magno. The shot is saved by Stefan Fry. Big moment for Seattle and Fry. It was one-on-one with the keeper for Thales Magno, who has 3 goals in this competition.
New York City FC kept pressing forward in a late comeback bid, and Castellanos had another good look off a header from the middle of the area.
Flick header Rodriguez, clear. Tavon Gray. Can he do anything with it? It pops high into the air. Collins now between the circles. Back to Parks. Another Parks ball in for Castellanos. What a save by Stefan Fry.
And unfortunately for New York City FC, weren't able to get those 2 goals they needed to force extra time in this one, and finishes 4-2 on the aggregate. Seattle going through to the CONCACAF Champions League final. Going through the team stats real quick here for you. New York City FC outshooting the Sounders 25-8. Overall, it was an 8-6 advantage in shots on goal, 62.6% of the possession in favor of City. We'll take a short break and come back with Glenn Crooks and Sal Rosamilia, who will give their final thoughts on this match and put a cap on it. Once again, your final from Red Bull Arena, 1-1 in the second leg, 4-2 Seattle in the aggregate. Sounders moving on to the final. This is Chris Tsakonas with your WRSU Sports Update at 9:15. On the diamond, Rutgers baseball looks to win their 12th straight when they host UPenn today at 3. Scarlet Knights have the second longest win streak in the nation after blowing out Lafayette 23-3 yesterday. Rutgers had 3 home runs and 17 walks in the win. Wyatt Parliament got his 3rd win of the year on the mound, pitching 5 innings and allowing just 2 earned runs on 4 hits with 3 strikeouts. Rutgers softball dropped their 7th straight game yesterday, losing 5-3 to Seton Hall. Scarlet Knights had a 2-1 lead through 4 innings, but 4 Seton Hall runs in the top of the 5th made the difference in the game. They'll open up a 3-game series with Illinois on Friday. Over to women's lacrosse, Rutgers looks to snap a 2-game losing streak as they host Wagner in a non-conference game tonight at 6. Knights enter this one coming off a 21-13 loss to number 3 Northwestern last Thursday. With sports updates at 15 and 45 past the hour on Are You Awake? I'm Chris Tsakonas. Welcome back to the WRSU Rutgers men's basketball pregame show, getting you set for Rutgers and Iowa in the Big Ten tournament quarterfinals. Chris Tsakonas here with John Leo, who is the sports director over at KRUI Radio out in Iowa. John, appreciate you coming on for a few minutes to preview this game.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
So let's start with what we saw yesterday. Iowa, a 112-76 win over Northwestern. Shot the lights out from beyond the arc, 65%. Keegan Murray led the way with 26 points. 5 players ending in double figures. I mean, they basically put an NBA scoreline on Northwestern. So just your initial impressions of how they played, both offensively and really just as a whole.
Yeah, that was when we talked to Coach McCaffrey after the game yesterday. He said it's hard to imagine us playing any better, and I think that's really easy to tell. When you put up 112 points, you put up 60-plus in a half. Iowa broke a lot of records yesterday in that win over Northwestern. They knocked down 19 threes, shot an incredible percentage from the field. Keegan was efficient. One of the keys for Iowa, one of the strengths is that they've got a deep bench, but a really productive bench. Every Iowa player on the roster got into yesterday's game, and every single one of them scored. So you talk about production on a deep bench, and Iowa certainly had that yesterday. Offensively, it was just phenomenal for the Hawks, and defensively, pretty good. A lot of steals, and it felt like they were always one step ahead against on Northwestern yesterday.
You talk about not being able to play any better. Iowa came into this tournament winning 8 of their last 10 regular season games. What's behind that streak?
Yeah, I think it's the rise of Tony Perkins. And he's done a nice job. Patrick McCaffrey's been kind of in and out with injury and illness, but when Iowa's got him, that's always a good thing. But Tony Perkins coming in and doing a really nice job rebounding, facilitating the basketball. He's a big wing player for us, can crash the boards. Moving Jordan Bohannon from the shooting guard, the 2 spot, over to the point guard position, that's been really successful for Iowa. We're 9-2 since that switch. And that just eliminates that extra pass where we'd get the rebound, then we'd pass it to our point guard, and then they would pass it over to Bohannon or have to get Bohannon open. Bohannon doesn't have to really get open. He can make himself open now when he's the first guy to touch the ball coming into the zone. And obviously turning things around in the rebounding. We're positive in the rebounding margin now. We spent a lot of the year negative in that category. And so those 2 things right there, moving Bohannon and getting Perkins to lead the rebounding charge for Iowa has been really key for us down the stretch here. We're sort of bucking the trend because lately, in the past few seasons, the postseason success hasn't been there for Iowa, and this year's totally the opposite. We finished the regular season strong. We got a lot of momentum coming into this tournament now.
And this is a hyper-efficient offense, averaging 90 points a game, shooting 48% from the floor on the season, 37.6% from beyond the arc. What makes them so efficient? Is it just, having a lot of really good shooters, or is it something more in terms of how they're moving the ball, how they're spacing the floor? I guess, what do you make of that?
Well, it sort of ties back into the production aspect, and that's not just scoring points either. That making that extra pass, right? Obviously, we like to go to Keegan, but we've got other scorers, as we've talked about, 4 average double-figure scoring for Iowa. And so when you get Chris involved, Chris Murray, that is, and Bohannon's hitting his threes, Perkins is in there, Patrick comes in, gets you 10 points. There's a nice balance of production. You have so many of the Iowa players that are in double-figure scoring, but making that extra pass, we really assist the ball well. We had, I think, 25 yesterday against Northwestern. I mean, that's just an outrageous number for all those made shots. So it's not just the scoring that makes us so efficient. It's how we score, how we get there. We can do it from a lot of different areas, and we really took it in the paint, and also obviously hitting the 19 threes yesterday against the Wildcats was big time.